But either way, there is Sarah Madeline, the big home hero. There is Marwa Bouziani. This is a serious operator, is Bouziani, in the steeplechase. 4th in the world final last year, just a couple of seconds off a global medal. A national record of 9:01. Bouziani ran 3 laps to go. 13:18 on the clock. So I think it's going to be just outside 15 minutes unless we see a monster close from these ladies, but it's still possible. And Elamnat Wale has been sitting very quietly there in the slipstream. She's done no pace setting, but she is still there with 500 metres to run. But here comes Marwa Bouziani yet again. Bouziani to the front. It's tit for tat up front between Madeline and Bouziani. And which of these is going to be the strongest? 2 laps to run. They could still get under the 15 minutes here. They'll need about a 65 final 400 metres, but they would be kicking in hard. And as we know, these are 2 women who can close very fast on the track. Both world finalists last year. Madeline 8th in the 1500 metres. Bouziani 4th in the steeplechase. Who's going to have the goods on the last lap burn up here, and will they get under 15 minutes, which will be brilliant running for January for these women. But it is Bouziani who leads with about 2:50 to run. But here comes the home hero, Sarah Madeline, to the lead, and she looks strong, doesn't she? 14:31 on the clock. She'll need a massive last lap to break 15. It's not out of the realms of possibility, but I don't think she's going to have that much left. But it's going to be very close to 15 minutes. But Sarah Madeline is putting on a display here, and she is beating a very good athlete here to start her year in very impressive fashion. It was a medal for France in the relay at the World Cross Country. Now she's going to be very close to 15 minutes here. She celebrates early up the home straight, sends the love to the crowd, and it's coming right back. Sarah Madeline across the line in about 15:03 takes victory at the Meeting de Lyon. It is Marwa Bouziani back in second, about 3 seconds behind. I think the finishing beam didn't quite catch Sarah Madeline. She was running so fast across it. But she gives a congratulatory hug to Bouziani, who also helped her there to a swift pace. A bit of work up front as well alongside Sarah Madeline, but Madeline, of course, did the lion's share over the latter half after the pacer stepped aside, and she looks very fresh. That is an impressive first track race of 2026, and she is loving life. I'm sure her coach, Bastien Perrault, will be quite pleased about that. Superb performance there. We'll get confirmation of that full result. I'm sure there'll be plenty PBs, and look at that 3 national records further behind for Veerle Bakker of the Netherlands, for Valentina Gemetto of Italy, and Vera Bertemes Hoffman of Luxembourg. We're going to be approaching the kilometre here at the end of the back straight, and it is Theo the Boss. 3:37 man outdoors, 3:38 indoors, his lifetime best, but he is stretching this field as they pass the kilometre here. It is a very good tempo being laid out. And it is Valentin Soka there, back in second. Soka is an accomplished athlete as well. 3:35, his personal best. And Engels just looming into contention. And here goes Soka with 2 laps to run. He hits the front and powers ahead. Valentin Soka, he has command at the moment. Theo the Boss back in second. They are stretching this pace along. That might be Philip Sassenach back in third there. Here comes Craig Engels. He's up to third now. That is a good move by Engels with 200 metres to run. He goes up outside the Boss, and he now has Soka in his sights. But it is Valentin Soka of Uruguay, the 23-year-old, who has command with 100 to go. Down for a good time here as well. Craig Engels is trying to hunt him down, though. It's going to be a very tough 3-way battle here up the home straight. And it is Chenatev, Haitham Chenatev. We mentioned his 800-metre speed as he come through and stolen it all at the finish. Haitham Chenatev, the 21-year-old Algerian. We mentioned his 144 800 meters before the race, but he was almost invisible out of sight for a lot of that 1500 meters. And from the clouds in the last lap, Haitham Chenetef, the 21-year-old Algerian, he's a 334 PB outdoors. He's no indoor PB listed, so that will be it. 336.5 on the clock for Haitham Chenetef. As I mentioned, 144 for 800 meters, and he timed that to perfection. Standing win there, 336.51. Craig Engels takes the runner-up spot, 336.8. Season's best for him. Valentin Soka back in third, 336.81. Of course, new rules as well for the women's and men's 800 meters indoors. They do not break from lanes now until they enter the home straight. Towards the end of the first lap, they used to break after that first bend. Officials have decided that from this year onwards, it's certainly a championship level, an international level. You will now have to run 2 bends in the stagger as we go back through this field there. And then sharing lane 2, Laura Hoffman of Switzerland and Rocío Arroyo of Spain, both sub-2 athletes, but never indoors. And on the inside, Charlotte Dumas of France, who's a 2:00.99 athlete outdoors. She's run 2:01 indoors. And the athletes we didn't get to mention, Patricia Silva of Portugal on the outside, Silvana Gaita of Poland. And we'll see as they break who is keen to get on with things here. But there will probably not be too much between a lot of these athletes. See they're surging up in lane 2. That's Rocío Arroyo. She looks keen to get on with things. Laura Hoffman just leaning in on her a little bit there. They're going to sort themselves out here behind the pacemaker. As they come through the first lap in 28.77 seconds, it's a good, healthy pace. Most of that pack would have been through in 29 point, which is just about perfect when you're trying to have a go at that 2-minute barrier, but it is very much stretched out here. The pacemaker doing a good job. 300 meters reaching about 44 seconds, and the pace is strong in behind. Look how they're strung out. They are getting after this in Lyon this evening, and they are moving fast. It is Silva there taking up, Patricia Silva of Portugal, taking up pole position as 400 meters is reached by the pack in about 59 seconds. Silva set the Portuguese indoor record last year at 159.8, and she go after it again here. She's on track at the moment through 400 meters in about 59 flat. Through 500 there, still at 115. She's got a chance if she can bring this home. Patricia Silva is pushing on from the front. Just over a lap to run. Patricia Silva has command at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be just probably outside 2 minutes, but Patricia Silva up front at the moment. I think that is Mylis Trapeau there back in second coming after her. It's going to be a dust up here. Laura Hoffman there in the white as well as making a move back and forth. Look out for her coming home. But at the moment it is Patricia Silva of Portugal who has command, and she is kicking off the front here. It is Patricia Silva, I think. Laura Hoffman looks to have more left as well. But Patricia Silva is hanging on grimly there out front. I think she's going to come home in front. Patricia Silva of Portugal takes the win at Meeting de Lyon. 2:01.41 on the clock. And it was Clara Lieberman of France there who was giving great chase to her. She's an indoor best of 2:01.0, so she's not very far off that at all. 0.6 of a second for Lieberman, but Silva, whose indoor best was the Portuguese indoor record of 159.8, she takes a very good early season win, having won last weekend in Luxembourg on the World Indoor Tour. She clocked 4:08 for 1500 meters there, and you can see the strength shone through there for Patricia Silva, taking victory. It was the French woman Clara Lieberman came through for second, 2:01.60, and Laura Hoffman of Switzerland, 2:01.69, takes third. And here indeed is Louise Ekman of Sweden, who has broken her personal best this evening. Previous best was 187. She equaled that just a few days ago in Tampere, and she has now raised it to 188 with that second time clearance. It equals the meeting record. Louise Ekman. This will be huge. And it is huge! It is a huge, huge clearance for Louise Ekman that puts her in firm command of this competition. She did have that extra failure, so Glenka Antonia will now have a chance to get back into the lead if she clears 191 momentarily, but Louise Ekman has never jumped that high before. 186 her outdoor PB, 187 her indoor PB, but the 28-year-old has taken a major step forward there. Men's 800 metres, and this is loaded with talent. This is Mohamed Al Gwaned of Algeria. We've had a win in the 15 for Algeria. This could be the man to do it for them here. 143.5 his best. He has run 145 indoors 2 years ago in Liévin. He went out in the heats in Tokyo, did Ali Gwaned, but the 23-year-old is an accomplished athlete. Not quite as accomplished as this man though. Mark English has 3 European indoor medals, 2 European outdoor medals. He has 18 national titles, counting indoors and outdoors. He turns 33 next month, and he's in just about the best form he's ever been in, Mark English. 143 last year, Irish record. In Budapest, that's since been broken, but he broke the Irish indoor record just last weekend in Luxembourg, 144.65. And on the inside from France, the 22-year-old, 144 athlete last year, that is Paul Anselmini. So look out for Mark English in lane 4 there, in that blue strip. I believe he's unsponsored at the moment, but he is running well enough to catch the eye of many people. The mark he'll be thinking about here perhaps is 144.65, the Irish indoor 800 metre record he ran last year. His first time under 145 indoors, but English isn't too keen there. It doesn't look like the pace is going too fast. There's going to be a bit of cramping here, I would imagine, at the break. It's going to get very busy as we see Roman and Abdelati El Gues there coming through, and English just sitting off the pace at the moment, back in 5th, de facto 5th. He's now starting to move up a bit, and it is a steady pace, but there doesn't look to be that much interest in behind in terms of people going with it. Mohamed Ali Gwanad, then Marciej Widerka as well, back there, 400 metres on the clock, 52.35. So this isn't too quick a pace. This is no longer about time, this race. This is all about who's going to come home in front. Pacemaker just steps off to the side there. And Ali Gwaned is in a great position there as well. On the inside, Mark English is going to have bodies to come round if he's going to win this one, but he is as good as it gets when it comes to navigating traffic. And Marciej Widerska just moves up there on the outside, assumes command now, the pole, and pushes clear. And then it is Gwaned and El Gues. Mark English has some work to do back in 4th. Perhaps the exertions of last weekend, but don't rule him out. But entering this last bend, Widerska has to concede there because it is the Algerian Ali Gwaned there. Pushes to the front and powers clear in a very impressive last 50 metres. Turning on the style, Mark English might have got up for second there. It is very close. We'll check that one officially. But it was Ali Gwaned who mentioned it was a winner in the 1500 metres from Algeria, that he could have been the man to do it in the 800, and indeed he is. The 23-year-old, he was a World Under-20 silver medalist back in 2021, and Mohamed Ali Gwaned turned on the style there in the last 100. He played a patient game for much of that race and did all his running when it had to be done. 145.85 coming through. Abdelati El Gues just about held off Mark English for second by 100th of a second, the Moroccan. 146.62 for him. Mark English 146.63 back in third. 3 laps to run now. Jody McKenna's just hanging on toughly there at the back of that field on the inside. Seen a move there. I think that might be Delia Sklabas moving up there on the outside. Former European Under-20 champion. I think that might be her in the black strip. Sklabas has had many years in the wilderness. They come up now with a lap to run. And 2 laps to run. And Delia Sklabas who really has not been heard from too much in terms of performances like this. She ran 4:10 for 1500 all the way back in 2018, but an absolute phenom at underage level. She was under 20 European champion back in 2017, all of 9 years ago. She won the under 20 1500 meter title, the European under 20 level as well. Back in 2019, she outkicked Sarah Healy to victory there. And Delia Sklabas, the 25-year-old, having raced sparingly and no doubt dealt with injuries in recent years, looks to be screaming back to form here and starting 2026 with a bang, because she is powering down the back straight. Delia Sklabas, 100 meters to run, 3:52 on the clock, so it's going to be under 4:10. No matter how quick can she go now, Delia Sklabas. There's a massive advantage there. I think that his guy is back in second. It's going to be close, though, for second. But Delia Sklabas, the 25-year-old Swiss underage star, is coming through. And how brilliant that is to see again at senior level, with a really commanding performance there over an international field. Delia Sklabas. And she is, trust me, those are very much tears of joy for Delia Sklabas. I was in Boras back in 2019 when she won that European under 20 title at 1500 meters, and adding to her previous title at 3000 meters. And Delia Sklabas has been through the ringer since then. There is Bori Akinola of Ireland. Points to the skies. He'll be attacking his season's best of 6:68 here, no doubt. There is Stephen Awua before, the favourite, you have to say, after that performance in the semi-final. Pablo Mateo there of France in lane 7, 6:62 his best. But look out for him there in lane 5. He's in that white strip. To his right, as we look, there is Bori Akinola of Ireland in the yellow of his university. And Bori Akinola is off to a brilliant start. Bit of running to do here for Awua before, but he looks to be coming through. It's Akinola. Is it Akinola? It is so close. I think it was Pablo Mateo there flashing down the outside as well. But Awua before just never quite got into that the same way he did. He didn't get the start he got in the semi-final, and it is Akinola. Bori Akinola takes a brilliant win. The World Athletics Indoor Tour bronze event, Meeting de Lyon. That is a big step forward in the career of Bori Akinola, to be taking victory over a field like that. 6:65 on the clock. I mentioned he'd be attacking that season's best of 6:68, and he certainly is. Brilliant win for Bori Akinola, as he's known at home. Dos Santos, World Indoor silver medalist back in 2018. An Olympic finalist in Tokyo. Knocked out in qualification at the World Championships last year, but he's been over 17 metres last year. Of course, this is not peak season right now. We wouldn't be expecting that now, but the mark he wants is 16:54. If he jumps exactly 16:54, he'll win on countback, and of course, anything bigger gives him the victory. Oh, he's done it! If that's a green flag, he has certainly done it! Almir Dos Santos with a clutch 6th round effort. That is more than enough. We're going very unofficially here, but that looks visually to be way beyond the 16:52 he was currently on. And it also looks way beyond the 16:54 by Yasser Tricky. It is 16:74. It is a superb effort under pressure from Almir Dos Santos. And a high five and a hug there from the vanquished rival. Yasser Tricky has no choice but to concede. Look at the height he gets here in the first phase. He is so far off the ground, but he carries it through so well. He's one of those triple jumpers who just kind of gathers the energy almost in the second phase a little bit. As we get confirmation of that, Almir Dos Santos takes the victory, whopping 20 centimetres ahead in the end of Yasser Tricky, and then Enrico Montanari takes 3rd. This is the favourite though. Alicia Johnson of the US, 7:82 her best indoors, 8:06 to qualify in the heat. A reproduction of that should be enough here. Jill Sanchez of Switzerland, 8:18, her best. Impressive in the heats earlier on as well. Here is Nicola Mazzetti of Italy, 8:04, her best. Away they go, and Johnson is off to a flying start there in lane 4. Colt Corcoran going very well as well in 2. She might have second at the moment, but Johnson pulling clear now and coming through very well there. I think in lane 6 it was Nicola Mazzetti, but Johnson, the class of the field, told in the end, the woman who's run 12.3 outdoors, who's run 782 indoors, she didn't need to run that quick tonight. 8:02, more than enough on the night for Alicia Johnson to take another victory on the circuit on the World Athletics Indoor Tour. This bronze level meeting, the Meeting Indoor de Lyon. Alicia Johnson sweeps to victory, 8:02. It was close for a second, but Nicola Mazzetti it indeed was flashing down there, and I think it was lane 6, 8:16. Mazzetti takes the runner-up spot, and then it was Switzerland's Jill Sanchez came through brilliantly for third, 8:19 for Sanchez.
Hi, I'm Manu Duplantis. Subscribe to the European Athletics YouTube channel down below.